What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're here with African Superstar, or better known as Jeena. And, I've seen her on YouTube, traveling, going to the different places in Africa, having her a great time. So we wanted to bring her on today to have a conversation. So, Jeena, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Phil. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
All right, Jeena. So tell us a little bit about, yourself and how you end up getting to Africa.
Well, it's actually a really, it's a long journey, but basically I got very, very curious about the motherland many years ago. And I started searching on YouTube for information about people traveling there and everything like that. And I actually connected with one of my colleagues, Diaspora, at that time. He was one of the few platforms that had actual footage from various countries like Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa. And I just became really intrigued. So I took my first trip to South Africa in 2016. I spent 3 weeks there, and then I went on to Ghana. I went to Accra, Ghana for a week. So I spent a total of a month there. It was right before the presidential election in America. I just kind of went to get away because it was really hectic. And I haven't looked back since then. I've been to 6 countries altogether. I frequent and do business in Ghana and Kenya. I've also been to Egypt, Tanzania, South Africa, and Nigeria. So, I've been just really curious to explore the motherland, being that there's not that much information. You don't get access to it through your formal education. The media that you see in the West is very, very skewed. And so during that process of also traveling to the motherland, I also migrated to the UK about 3 years ago, because I had a lot of issues with, some of the things you talk about regularly on your channel about how Black people are treated, what we deal with in the professional environment, the racism, and so on and so forth. So I chose to move over to the UK as I ultimately plan to migrate very soon to Ghana. So it was kind of like a stepping stone pathway. And I currently have a YouTube channel, which is called the Afrikan Superstar, which Phil will provide my link to any viewers that are interested. But I'm very serious and passionate about pro-Black matters, Pan-African things, and essentially enlightening our people about the motherland.
Okay, so you're originally from the United States, correct?
Yes, I used to live in Ohio. Yep,
Okay, you used to live in Ohio. Okay, all right.
Yep.
So what was it in Ohio that you just said, you know what, I can't deal with it no more? And the second question I have to that, because I'm gonna follow this up, why did you go from America to the UK?
Okay, so for the first question, I was dealing with a lot of systemized racism in the professional world. I used to work for JP Morgan Chase. I've also worked for United Healthcare Insurance Companies. And essentially what I was experiencing was just a limit on my upward mobility. I continued to go back to school, pursuing higher education. And I just realized that certain people do not escalate beyond a certain level if they're not willing to play ball or kind of conform and so on and so forth. And therefore, if you cause too much trouble in the workplace, then you become a troublemaker. You're seen to be challenging or aggressive and so on and so forth. So when I first started my career, that was my dream. Was I wanted to go very far in banking, do corporate banking and so on and so forth. But I just kept hitting the glass ceiling. So I became very frustrated with that. And so the reason I chose the UK was basically I wanted to travel the world. European lifestyle is a lot more supportive in regards to traveling. It's a lot more common here, and it's a lot easier and more affordable. And you also get more allotment through your job position to travel. So since I moved to the UK, I've had, last year, 2019, I had 11 international trips alone. Prior to that, I did about 4 in 2018. And, I get over a month of vacation time through my job. So it kind of makes it more convenient. So I that's one of the reasons I chose to come to the UK. The second reason was there's no guns here. Guns are illegal for civilians. I was very, very concerned with the rampant gun culture in America, with police brutality, with getting caught up in some type of, random violence. So I wanted to get out of that environment. So those are some of the primary reasons that I chose the UK. I migrated here, and for all intents and purposes, it's been a much more comfortable place to live, a lot more safe. And like I said, I was able to realize my dream of traveling and seeing more of the world.
Okay, so you didn't go to Africa until after you was kind of in the UK, and you were saying, let me kind of look into Africa a little bit. So you weren't traveling to Africa prior to going to UK, correct?
I was traveling to Africa, but because I started in 2016, going to Africa, moved here in 2017.
Okay.
And I traveled to Africa. I went to Ghana before I moved here, but I wanted to do more. At the rate, when I worked at the bank, for instance, I was only able to do like 2 weeks of vacation in a year.
Right.
And so I wasn't able to do that much, and when I wanted to go far, go international, it just I wasn't able to work with my schedule. So coming here, I was able to do a lot more. And so last year was my biggest travel year of all. And I did 5 countries last year in Africa. So, that was pretty big.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Anybody's watching, I wouldn't ask this, but let me go ahead and did the comments. Captain Black America would say, why is it that you went to the UK instead of going to an African nation?
Well, basically, the plan that I made, because I migrated like in an unconventional way. I didn't come through military. I didn't have someone doing my immigration on this side. I didn't have any kind of job that brought me over or anything like that. Essentially, I saved up money. I used to work Uber, and I saved up money through Uber, and I came here with like a lump sum. I rented an Airbnb, and I looked for a job. And the reason I chose to come here was, like I said, I was having a lot of issues professionally in the US that was affecting like my income. Mm-hmm. And obviously these type of things are directly connected to your income. If you can't, I was trying to get promoted. I was trying to do other positions that had better income so that I could do more of the things that I like to do, but I wasn't able to access those levels. So I realized that I wasn't going to be able to kind of break through that, or at least that's how I felt. And I didn't want to continue to keep investing time because I stayed at the bank for nearly 10 years. So I figured, okay, if I'm not able to move up here, I've gone back to school, I'm a diligent worker, professional, I'm intelligent. If I'm not able to get forward here, what is the probability that I'm going to be able to continue to move forward? So I chose to come here as a way to get my capital up. I chose to come here because the pound is, we use the British pound here. The pound is stronger than the dollar.
Oh, yes, it is.
I knew it would go further in Africa, which it has. So, and from here, it's a lot closer to travel. I can get direct flights to, like I said, I do business in Nairobi and Kenya. I have a website, which is the AfrikanSuperstar.com. I sell like luxury African jewelry and clothing, and I source from Ghana and Kenya. So, I was able to start a business. I've been able to grow my social media. I was able to do a lot of things here that I was struggling to do in the States. So basically, it was a stepping stone. Some people, maybe if they're in America and they're doing well enough to make that transition. I know that you've recently started going to Africa, and you're getting abreast of that and everything. I just missed you in Kenya, actually, because you saw Amin Ra when you were there, and that's one of my friends. And he said, "Oh, you just missed Phil," and I was like, "Really?"
Yeah. I'm going back to Kenya though.
By days, yeah, I missed you by days. But essentially, I needed to gather my capital because in the same pretense, you want to go to Africa. Some people want to go. Some people want to start business. Some people want to migrate. You have to be adequately prepared. To go there without some type of plan or preparation is really not wise, and you may not be successful in your moves. So that is what I have been doing here. I felt I wasn't going to be able to do those things in America. So I came here because the climate was more conducive for me to accomplish those things.
Okay, so you say you went to the UK, you got a job, you say you're doing okay, and then you start going to the continent. And what was, because there's a lot of people that come in the comments section, and you've been to 6 different countries. They will say,
Correct.
well, Africans aren't our people. They don't like us. When you got there, they did not like you?
Bro, listen. I have never felt so welcome anywhere. And it was amazing because actually the first place I ever went, like I mentioned, was South Africa. And, I've been embraced every place I've gone. And, to kind of combat that, that is one reason why I have chosen to travel around the continent. I wanted to go to the north, the east, the south, and the west because people will say those things. And I wanted to have a command to speak from in my personal experience, because sometimes, okay, you go to one country and somebody says, oh yeah, well, it's like that there, but other places it's not like that. Obviously there are 54 countries in Africa, but I think I have a good glimpse because I have been around. I've been to, countries where English is not their first language. I've been to Egypt, which is primarily Muslim. They speak Arabic. I've been to Kenya, that's East Africa. I've been to the West. So I have kind of a broader perspective, and in every place I've been, I've received nothing but hospitality. I've been a solo traveler in all those countries. I've made friends and I've made networks, but when I first started traveling, I didn't have those. All I really had was the information that I had gotten from Dinus Demir and another friend of mine, Marcus, that is also an avid African traveler. And that's all I had, but now I have an extensive network. They are extremely welcoming and I love it. I love going every time.
Yeah, because I feel the same way. Like I said, the first time I went to Ethiopia, and like I said, and shout out to the Ethiopians, brother Gorfu, he hooked that up, and we went, and the first thing they told me was welcome home.
I'm telling you.
And I never had nobody be, and they were genuine with it, and they say, oh, he from America, like that, and I'm looking, say, oh, he is, and everybody like these dudes was shaking my hand and all that other things, and I'm like, wow,
Listen,
it was overwhelming to kind of be received that way.
they are so excited. I had this, the similar, like I said, the first place, South Africa, I went to Johannesburg.
Mm-hmm.
I got there. I was basically, if I didn't say anything, nobody knew anything. I thought it was fascinating to be in the Black majority. It was unbelievable to go out and all you see is Black people. You go to downtown Johannesburg, you go to shopping centers. It was unbelievable. And until I spoke, I had several instances of them even speaking the local language. They speak Xhosa down in South Africa, and they were just speaking to me in the local language. And then when I spoke, they're like, oh, okay. I had one of the cashiers tell me, like, the second day I was there, I spoke English. She was speaking Xhosa, and I said, oh, I'm sorry, I only speak English. Like, I'm not from here. And she was like, yes, you are. She was like, you just been away, but you're back home now. And I was like, wow. It's a really nice feeling, especially being, a lot of people feel constantly rejected in these Western environments. They feel, they feel as a minority, they feel as a spectacle. So it's an incredible sensation. I would encourage your viewers that are interested in going to the motherland and experiencing that. I would really promote them to go, because it's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, because when I first went to Ethiopia the first time, and outside of that, and I got to see the environment of say, whoa, it's nothing but Black people. I'm not no quote unquote minority, and
Right.
it was no such thing as racism. That in itself was just freedom for me.
Just like nobody's harassing you, nobody's following you, and the level of freedom, Phil, like you mentioned, you see people chilling. Like, I've not been to Ethiopia yet. It's definitely high on my list, but the level of chilling, like people chill. You go to the beach, people are chilling. There's no police officers. Like I was telling Amin Rock when I went to one trip, I went to Kenya and then I went to Zanzibar. So I was there maybe about 2.5 weeks. And I told him, I said, I haven't heard any sirens. I haven't heard any gunshots. Like the whole time I've been here, you know, I haven't even seen any police. And he was like, yeah, he was like, you ain't gonna see, you know, unless there's something serious going on, you're not going to see that. People aren't calling the police on you because you're playing your music or, you know, just menacing. You go into shops and people are following you around or ignoring you or giving you bad service. Like, you know, it's like night and day from what we experience on a regular basis, you know, especially for people that are in states that aren't very diverse. In Ohio, I lived in the capital. I lived in Columbus. So it's a city and it's a lot more diverse. But then you have obviously all the rural areas and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, not a comfortable feeling.
Right.
Going to African nations is absolutely incredible.
It's extremely liberating, like you said, and just to even, I think, for your mental psyche as well, because over here everyone else owns just about everything, and it's done by design. Of course, mostly white people, but
Of course.
now what this, you know, these people have done here to us is we've scaled further down the bottom because they've allowed, you know, immigrants and some people who don't even have their papers to be above black folks. They allow people with, you know, the alphabet community, I'm gonna say, they let them get above black people on the laws that was meant for black people. So I'm like, how much more do we need to see that we are not wanted and we are the most hated, and we need to start looking at Africa?
I completely agree with you, Phil. These are things that I mean, you've visited my channel before, you know, these are things I regularly talk about. I think that the system, in more specifically in America, is just inherently racist. And we have tried many different avenues over centuries to find various ways to, you know, rectify that. We've tried to beg for equality. We've tried to be included. We've tried to mimic them. We've tried education. We've tried to, you know, go up the ladders of wealth, and we've tried everything. And even when we do separate and we build our own communities and they become successful, we find interference. We find, you know, strategic attacks against our community. And I'm completely with you in regards to examining the motherland is something that people from the diaspora have been really slack in doing. I think that it's a huge movement right now because people are being made aware of via social media that they have been misinformed, and that some of the information that they have had has just been misleading, and it has been destructive to prevent us from going there, you know. But keeping us on the bottom in America is all strategic as well, because they can't have their superior complexes unless there's someone who is inferior. And, you know, they do strategic, not just in regards to like the recent migrant groups, but they did this with the Irish in the past too. When the Irish came over to America, you know, instead of allowing black people, the people that were the freed slaves and stuff, opportunities, they allowed the Irish to come in, you know, the Jewish to come in, the Europeans. And I just think that if we want to capture something in our life during our lifetime, that we should examine this opportunity. If it doesn't work out for us, that's fine. But it's definitely something that we should look into, because we have tried many, many avenues in America to try to escalate without success, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, it's like I did a story the other day about the University of North Carolina police was tracking a anti-racism group. Okay, and the FBI called them to say, hey, you know, they're going to be at this protest. You know anything about it? You know, my thing is, you're being tracked by law enforcement when you're trying to stand against racism. Not the people that went to Charlottesville with the tiki torches. We talking about the people that want to be against racism. You're geo-tracking their phones and pulling their posts on social media. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it is oppressive. And the problem I see, Jeena, is this. A lot of black people are so used to the oppression that they don't know no better, and they think that, well, anything outside of oppression, you know, something wrong with you.
Yep, they do. They've taken a very negative outlook to people that are promoting the growth and well-being of our own community. And that's something that I don't understand. It's like, we're talking about preservation here. You know, we all know that if you do not maintain standards, you don't maintain culture, you don't maintain the family, then it will cease to exist. And the family, the Black family unit is what is greatly, I mean, it's been greatly impacted by various campaigns against it in America. I mean, even you as a Black man, in your existence, you are threatening to people in the West, just minding your own business. These police officers are regularly killing Black men and are justified in doing so by the law. And it's insane. And that's the thing that, of many reasons, I mean, I had countless reasons to get out of America, but I just kept seeing myself becoming a hashtag. How long can you be in an environment and not get affected by what is happening around you? And there's no antecedent to these people that have been affected. Even what happened down there in Texas with Botham Jean. We have somebody live in their own house, eating ice cream, gunned down by an off-duty officer, who lies and says they're in the wrong apartment, that they thought this person that was completely non-threatening was an intruder, killed this man, and get, I mean, it's insane. And I'm not narcissistic enough to think that these things won't impact me. And actually there was a mass shooting. You probably heard about it, Phil. There was a mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio a few months ago. Mm-hmm. Somebody went into a bar and just started shooting people. And one of my college mates, her uncle was killed in that shooting, And these are the kind of things I'm talking about, is like the level of instability in that environment is concerning, and people should be concerned because there's nothing to say that you will or won't be affected by it. And, I would encourage, like I said, I always do. That's the reason why I started my YouTube platform, was to kind of enlighten people with what I was experiencing in the motherland. There would be absolutely no reason for me to come on YouTube nearly every day and spend time and, spend money traveling there if all the stereotypes that I had heard about Africa were true. There would be no reason for me to come out and do this, but I found that information so valuable that I wanted to provide that to my peers, because there's lots of people like you and I, Phil, that are in America. They're fed up. They're just like, look, there's got to be something better than this. But they don't have the information. And so therefore it's up to us. And, I have to commend you on your network. You provide so much resources, and I'm so proud of you. And I hope that you continue to experience exponential growth. And, I hope that you continue to see more of the motherland, and it inspires you, and you go forward, because it's people like you and I that are really, really a resource to many of our peers.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was telling, a few people that I want to see the Pan-African community on YouTube grow like other ones grow, right? Because you are doing like kind of like travel vlogs or whatever, and that's a big lane actually, because you see some of the white YouTubers doing that and they killing it. So I want to see the Pan-African people that's actually going to the continent and showing people that, hey, you can be here. Hey, you are safe here. Hey, they are welcoming to you. For instance, on our Kenya trip that we had in October, we had 30 people come on our Kenya trip with Worldviews, and we partner with Worldviews, and they had 30 people, and one of the brothers that was there named Ken, never forget him. He was from California. And he told me he used to, he liked to, we was at a restaurant, he went to go like run around, take a laugh or whatever. He said, this is the safest I ever felt without feeling like I need a burner on me. I said, really? He said, yeah. And I said, wow. He said, where I'm from, you better keep a burner on you. And I'm like, think about that. You got to walk around with a gun everywhere because you think someone's going to do something to you.
Exactly. And I mean, it's just like if you actually go and you people watch, it's just fascinating. Like one thing I loved when I was in Zanzibar, right, was it's a large Muslim community there in Zanzibar, Tanzania. And I was taking a taxi ride, and I was just like watching the local people, and like the school had gotten out, and all the kids were just walking together, and they were like holding hands, and they were just, they were just completely oblivious and just not a care in the world. And, that's the kind of environment that you have there when the community polices the community. Like people are socially accountable, and that's what makes it so safe, because if something goes down, your neighbor or whoever's in the vicinity is not just going to abandon you and leave you there. You know what I mean? They will come to your aid. I also, in Ghana, one time I saw a lady's car just stop in the middle of traffic. And so they don't have, like roadside and, stuff like that out there. But these guys that were along the side of the road just came over to her car and started trying to help her figure out what was wrong. And they got it running and sent her on her way. And I'm like, see, that's community. And that's exactly why they've attacked our community in America. They saw the power, for instance, during the civil rights movement. They saw all the momentum, and they saw the various, Black leaders emerging, and how, we were cohesive in a sense. And they, ever since then, I don't think that the Black community has been able to rebound because of these strategic attacks to break it down, and especially targeting the man. They know if they target the man, then that would trickle down through the family. And so between the, the penitentiary, pipeline, the guns and violence, the homosexual agenda, the interracial agenda, you have all these different things trying to influence our Black men, and it's having a huge impact on the community. You go to Africa, you see that family structure still intact. So it's, I love it there. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, well, well, my opinion is like when I went to the first time I went, or even I went to Kenya too, it reminds me of Southern culture, but on steroids. That's what it reminds me of.
Man,
and
did you guys go to Nairobi?
What'd you say?
Did you guys go to, I know you were in Mombasa. Did you go to Nairobi as well?
Yeah. I was in Nairobi. We even stayed at the Kempinski Hotel, which is a nice one. If you go to Nairobi, go stay at the Kempinski.
High-end.
What'd you say? Huh?
I said you guys were high-end. That's a fancy hotel.
Oh, hey, you go to Africa, you're supposed to do that. You're not supposed to be going, no, you coming in there to be living like a king or a queen. That's what you coming there to do. Look, now some people like Dynas, he'll go to the village and all that, and he'll sleep with them, and that's, out there, that's fine. I can go to the village and visit you for a day, and that's cool. I can come back tomorrow. But I gotta be, I'm a city person. I gotta be in the city.
Nairobi is popping. It's like, Nairobi to me reminds me of Atlanta. Like literally when I got there, I was just like, wow, it's quite westernized, but it's really, really, I always have a great time, and I made some great friends, and all the comforts of, for people in the West, all the comforts of home, they got Uber, they got Airbnbs, stable electricity, Wi-Fi. It's beautiful. The weather's fantastic. If you're into nightlife, they got that. They have wildlife. Nairobi is lit.
Yeah, it's definitely nice out there. And I was just telling people, I say, and also if you can get a citizenship, you want to be a Kenyan citizen. I always tell people, look at countries that offer dual citizenship, or if you can't get dual citizenship, at least a country that can give you permanent residency. But because, we have to start looking that way, as a people, because it's great to visit, but you need to find some place eventually that you can say, you know what, this is the country I want to be in. I'm going to try to become a citizen of this country.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And, for me, way beyond, there's so much hoopla in regards to like Ghana this year with the year of return. Frequenting Ghana, and I love Ghana. And so Ghana is the place where I'm planning to plant myself. But, I agree with you. And I would also promote people to get involved with their investment in the motherland sooner than later, because this is really this is like the time where the opportunity is wide open. However, people are positioning themselves, and you do have people that are now prepared and getting involved on the ground. So you don't want to be left behind. If you have interest in the motherland, I would really, really promote you to do it sooner than later. Like, get in there now. It's like the gold rush. If you knew there was prosperity, if you knew there was opportunity, you wouldn't delay. So take advantage, of what's happening.
Yes, and that's what I tell them all the time. And you earlier you mentioned, the Grand Master Amun Ra. Shout out to Amun Ra.
Shout out.
Yeah, he, I spoke with him, when I got to Mombasa, I said, okay, Amin Ra is the person I want to talk to. And Amin Ra, he came over and chopped it up. And Amin Ra, good people. But I told him, I said, hey, Amin Ra, you did what most people love to do. You came over here, been over here 20 years. I can't do nothing but respect that.
Yep. Yep. He's such a resource, I've had him on my channel as well. And Amin Ra is a wealth of information, and he just proves that, we're not the only people that feel this way. Back in the 90s is when he chose to go to Kenya, and he actually just went on a visit, and then he just stayed, and began his life there. And, 20 years later, he had a business, he's made a family, he's established, and it's very, very promising. I've also, there's also another YouTuber, I'm pretty sure you're probably familiar, Phil, with Wodamaya.
Oh, yeah, I know Wodamaya.
Yeah, and Wodamaya, he's been going all over the continent, but I'm always seeing him finding people from the diaspora that are like, oh yeah, I've been living here for 10 years. I've been living here for 15 years. So it's really not as far-fetched as we may think. People have been doing it, maybe not in large numbers, but people are all over the motherland, and they have their various reasons. And a lot of them just want to escape the pressure. Like you said, just, even when I fly back to the States to visit family, as soon as I get there, the Border Patrol's like, what are you doing here? How long are you going to be here? Like, there's no welcome, enjoy your stay. How was your travel? It's like, just intense. And I noticed the difference in the climate as soon as I returned to America. It's just, it's unfortunate. And I don't blame people in America. Sometimes, people that are Pan-African, I think some Black Americans will get the wrong impression and they feel defensive about what we're saying. But I don't blame anybody in America for feeling the way they do. The system has designed you and groomed you to feel that way. But remaining ignorant is definitely your choice. You have people coming and giving you information, showing you footage of the motherland, telling you what it's like. You have to make that choice of whether or not you're going to pursue, other information or not. But there is definitely options for you if you are no longer happy or comfortable or feel safe in America. African continent is a place for you to begin to explore and check out.
Yes, I know what you mean, because I know every time I come back, like when I came back from Kenya this time, or when I came back from Ethiopia, so the moment you get back, you just feel that oppression spirit just come over you, like, and we all like, oh my God, we back here.
It's horrible, man.
Yeah, it's a spirit over this country. It's a spirit.
Like, you go from being the majority to the minority. You get on the plane and like everybody's Black, and then you get off the plane and all of a sudden,
yeah,
you're just like, damn. For me, last trip I went to Ghana in December. Not for all like the events and all the music conference. I was there like early December. So when I came back to the UK, it was cold. It was raining that day. And I was just like, man, this is for the birds, because every day I was in Ghana, it was like 85 degrees. I was in the pool every day. There was always stuff to do. People have time for you in Africa. That's another thing I love. They have time to have a conversation with you or sit down and have a meal. And a lot of people in the West, they deal with depression related to like their social life. A lot of people live alone. They don't have friends. They don't have family. They don't have people that look after them. So that community is so inviting. The fact that somebody will come and have a chit chat with you, maybe sit down, have a meal with you. It's so nice, and they don't want anything from you. Like I've tried, some countries might, but it's been my experience. A lot of them are very, very hospitable, and they want you to have a nice time. So they'll do things for you. And if you try to give them money or something, they'll get offended that, that you didn't realize that it was like a genuine act of hospitality. So, but you ain't getting out here. Like, you are not.
Yeah. Because I remember it was me, Kellen, and Sharif. We was all sitting down eating breakfast in Addis Ababa at the hotel. And we was having a conversation, and this Ghanaian brother, he was there, and he passed by, and he was like, man, I just hear you guys having a conversation. you mind if I just come eat breakfast with you guys and just talk? And we're like, yeah, come on, brother. We don't care. And you know, and he was just so happy to be sitting there and having a conversation. Because, you know, in America, somebody walk up to you and say, hey, you know, people look
I
at
know
you
you.
like,
You be like, what do you want?
yeah, because this country just got us so, like, not trusting of people. And it just, you just always on edge.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's. I feel it. Like I've been living outside of America now almost 3 years, and when I come back to the States, I am watching my back. Like I'm watching my back. Like matter of fact, the last time I was there in October to visit my mother for her birthday. Shout out to Mom if you see this. Um, so I was in Ohio. I was there for a week, and there was this popular carryout that's like down the street, and that was the carryout I was going to like get drinks and stuff like that. And on Saturday morning, I went out with my sister, came back around 10 o'clock. The crime tape was all around the carryout. They done had a shooting at the carryout in broad daylight. And I'm thinking like, yo, I could have been in there. Like, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah.
Why are they just shooting like this all the time? You know, it's insane. And I mean, she lives, you know, like the suburb area. So there's no place where these kind of things aren't happening. It's you feel the difference. Trust me. You feel the difference. You feel the difference.
Well, Gina, you know, so I'm gonna ask you something real quick before we wrap up. Then you have
Sure.
a certain group of people say, well, Phil, that's more so for you guys that you guys doing good on YouTube, or, you know, you guys that's doing, you got money. We don't have money. We're poor, and we can't go to Africa like that. And at the end of the day, can you tell them how not expensive it is to go?
Listen, I'm telling you, if we have a lot of people in the Black community that are traveling all the way out to Bali. They're going to Thailand. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to Australia. You know, I mean, even if you travel domestically within America, so you go to New York or you go to Vegas, you go to LA, you know, you can find great deals to the motherland. I know, like this time last year, I was preparing to go to Egypt, for instance. It was really cheap at this time of year. I probably went for probably about total about $750. I spent almost 2 weeks in Egypt. I went to Cairo. I went to Luxor. I took a hot air balloon. I had really nice hotels, you know. So obviously the more in advance you plan, the better it will be. And I would say to those people that are always making those excuses, like I said, I moved here by driving Uber. Okay. You can raise money if you want to. You know, you can do GoFundMe, you can do Uber, you can donate plasma, you can sell things online. If you really want something, people come up with money to buy new Jordans, people come up with money to go to the casino, people come up with money for cigarettes and alcohol. Like if you want to do something, you can definitely make it happen. And there's a lot of ways you could reach out to Phil, you could reach out to me, you could reach out to Dynas. You know, we have some tips, but basically you can look on priceline.com. For people that are in Europe, you can use a website called skyscanner.com, and it allows you to kind of have a range of dates, and it can show you the cheapest, you know, the cheapest fare between those dates and whatnot. And I recommend personally 2 to 3 months booking your tickets in advance to get good deals. You can use Airbnb if you want to have affordable rooms or, you know, things like that, hotels.com. So, you know, these are tips. I'm definitely not rich, you know, definitely not. I still work a job, you know. I have a YouTube channel, but it's not massive. So, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. And I would really tell you, I'm so happy that I have begun to go to the motherland. I was in a state of hopelessness when I used to live in America. I just felt so trapped. I felt like these things are never going to change. You know, I've seen them play out over decades. And I love to read. So I do like a lot of research and history, and I'm very particularly smitten with Black leaders. So, you know, I study Huey Newton and Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King. And so I'm looking at these different figures and I'm thinking, you know, century through century, these things have been reoccurring. The same
Mm-hmm.
things that Newton was upset about in the 60s are the same things that I'm dealing with in my modern day generation. These things are not about to alleviate themselves. The very institutions that you guys are relying on for reparations or justice through the judicial system or equality and fairness, these very, very institutions are inherently racist. You can't expect them to be inclusive of you when they have never been inclusive of you. And, quite frankly, I'm not the kind of person to spend all my energy trying to change the system. I also don't want to be killed. Like a lot of these people that have tried to, even a lot of these Black Lives Matters activists are having strange deaths and, mysterious deaths and things like that. I don't want to end up like that. I want to live a nice quality of life. I'm perfectly okay exploring the option of going home. I think it's something that we as a diaspora have not done properly. The last time someone was really promoting people to go back to Africa was like Marcus Garvey, so I think that we should really just check out that option, and that's what I firmly believe. And I not only come and advise people to do that, but that is what I'm doing myself in my own personal life. So, you can get to the motherland if you want to. I know I went on a little tangent there, but you can certainly find a way if you're interested. And I would also like to plug, I don't know if you're aware of this event yet, Phil, but they're having an Africa Day conference in Senegal in May 25th through the 31st.
Are you going?
I'm going to be there. I'm actually speaking at that event. So any viewers that see us that may want to see me or whatnot, I would invite you guys over to the Africa Day conference. It's in Dakar, Senegal, which is also another affordable, West African country. And if you're interested, you can send an email to africaday2020@gmail.com. You can put my name in the subject line, which is Jeena. That's JEENA 2020. You can ask for information or sign up for registration for the event. It's a week-long event. There's going to be a lot of people. Dr. Umar Johnson is going to be there. Wodamaya is going to be there. Some other YouTubers like Black Ambassadors is going to be there. So, it's a great opportunity for you to come, and there will also be investment options there. So if you want to buy land or you want to get involved in a business, there's a contact there, Rashad Mahdi, who has set this whole thing up. And essentially he has an investment opportunity. So it's going to be a massive conference, and it will be a great opportunity for some of you that are interested to come. You're nervous, you don't want to go by yourself. You want to be with other people from America and things like that. I would encourage you guys to come. So Phil, I'll actually reach out to Rashad and have him contact you to fill you in if you're not aware.
Well, with that being said, I already know what you're talking about, because that's a trip we already promoting on our channel in May to go to Senegal and Gambia and Africa Day. So you already know what you're talking about.
Wonderful. Perfect. Are you going to be there then? I can't wait to see you, bro.
Actually, well, I'll talk to you about that off camera.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about I'm going to be in the building, but I'll talk to you about how.
It's cool. I understand. Yeah, but I did just have to drop that because it's a good, also, I've been to Nigeria with Dynasty Amir, and he has a tour coming up in March as well. So, for people like solo travelers and stuff like that, there's lots of opportunities for you to go if you don't feel you're brave enough to kind of just go completely on your own and figure it out. There's a lot of people doing tours. You can get on the tours and come and see some of us, when you're going to the motherland.
All right, so Jeena, tell people how to get to your channel.
Once again, guys, I am the Afrikan Superstar. That's African with a K, not a C. Basically, you can go to YouTube and just type in the Afrikan Superstar. I come up, and also Phil will put the link on the video. You can come over to my channel. I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, all under the Afrikan Superstar. So you can Google me. But yeah, I'm not far. It's not hard to get in touch with. If you have any questions for me directly, you can send them to my email, which is afrikansuperstar@gmail.com. Again, that's African with a K, not a C. So if you have any questions or anything like that, you can come over to my platform. We'd be happy to have you. And I'd be happy to share the information that I have with you. And, we talk about different thought-provoking subjects and so on and so forth on my channel. So.
All right, so Gino, definitely thank you for coming and sharing with us today. And we definitely want to keep in touch with you. You came over, now you're part of the family now, so you definitely gotta keep coming back.
Yeah, man, I really, really appreciate it. And you continue. I mean, I know you will. Again, you are a huge resource to our community. And I want to thank you for taking your time to provide this resource. It is massive. It's so important. And we need the brothers. It's always fantastic to see the brothers, leading and providing these resources. So big ups to you, man.